Alright guys, welcome back. This is HD, what's going on? And it's time, I guess, for Game 3 from the grand finals of the Gigabyte Nvidia Invitational. And it's actually do or die right now for Nerchio, who's lost 2 in a row. Both games trying to go for early Zerg aggression. Didn't work out as well as he'd hoped. And, I wonder if this time, it's Atlantis Spaceship. It's a big map. Is he just going to play a more standard macro style Zerg? Because I've seen his macro Zerg, and it's great. He's a very good macro Zerg player. I think he could give a Creator a run for his money, but every time he tries to open up with this early cheese, it just hasn't been working out too well for him. So, I wonder maybe if his worst matchup could be against Protoss. He's already stated his complaints a couple times about the Immortals and whatnot, so maybe he just doesn't feel too confident playing against Creator in a macro game. But, you know what? I don't think you've got a choice. You've already cheesed twice, and it's Atlantis Spaceship, so it's such a big map that you really have to play a macro-style Zerg. We'll see what happens. Now, Nerchio, on this map, I just want to point it out to you guys, not only do you have this expansion, but you also have this expansion right over here. And if you look, obviously in the middle, huge, vast areas to work with, lots of areas to flank around, and you've also got the rich Vespine Geyser in the middle of the map. So all of this kind of contributes to the fact that Zerg can play a very tight macro style. They can get a bunch of hatcheries out, and then they can just go as fast as they can into hive mode, I think. But before we see that, will Nerchio borrow a little bit here from Stefano and go for the prevalent, the almost unstoppable max road strategy that so many Protoss nowadays blind counter with the one-gate robo? That's what a lot of Zergs are doing now. A lot of Zergs also kind of evolving away from that because of so many Protoss blind countering, and perhaps that's why we haven't seen Nerchio go for the early Roach Warren, excuse me, the Stefano max style. In fact, this time, is he making 4 Zerglings? He is. Making 4 Zerglings before trying to get the hatchery down. So the hatchery is a little bit later than you might imagine. Usually, like I said before in the last cast, oh! That drone just made its way in. Creator with a blunder right there. Could have blocked the hatchery with the probe, but lets the hatchery come up. Anyways, as I was going to say, most Zergs try to get the hatchery down at 16, but with the scouting probe already there, trying to block, although it did a terrible job at it, I guess Nerchio felt more comfortable making his Zerglings first. Alright, well, Nerchio's hatchery will just be a little bit later than what you might imagine, but he's going to make up for it with a double expand. Got another hatchery coming up at the 3rd location. And right now, Creator's wall pretty airtight. Overlord here getting a fresh breeze under his trousers. And he gets a great scouting vision too. This map gives a lot of good spots for Overlord scouts, kind of similar to Daybreak. But we can see everything with this Overlord. And for now, it looks like the Protoss player throwing the Cybernetics core in the back. And I guess you don't really need to use it as part of your wall on this map since it's so narrow already. But he is going for the Cybernetics core. And it looks like we're just going to be sitting back here, guys, for a couple minutes as both these players build up their army, build up their economy to back that up. And, eventually we're going to have the engagements occur. But right now, Nerchio just sending his drones over, trying to macro as well as possible. Note, he's got great positioning on his Zerglings and his Overlords. He's got one over here to the south. It's in a good spot to check for any proxy pylon probes that come out here. Obviously, that means a probe that tries to go to proxy pylon. Some of them try to take the detour route. And he's got an Overlord over this vent over here, which gives great vision. It's almost like a ward, if you will. It sees everything, an observer ward. Got over here an Overlord in the middle of the map. And over on the left side, you've also got a Zergling chilling at the location where Protoss might try to send out another scouting probe. So Nerchio's doing this time a very good job of exploring the map, making sure he's not caught off by anything that might, throw him off guard. And in the meantime, macroing as hard as he possibly can. Creator, right now, getting +1 weapons. Let's take a detail here as to what Creator's doing. He's actually got all 4 Vespine Geysers mining right now. And when a Protoss does that, in Protoss versus Zerg, oftentimes that means that they want to play a very macro-style game. They're getting all their gases so they can get all these upgrades out. So they can get their melee up, or their +1 weapons upgrade. They can get their Twilight Council out, their Robo Bay out. They can go Colossus. They can go Storm. They can go whatever they want. And a lot of times when I play ZVP, you know, I put a lot of emphasis into scouting the natural to check for those 2 gases, because based on how many gases are here, since most Protoss opt to get the 2 gases inside the main already, you can then determine if the Protoss is going to 7-gate you, like we saw last game, or if the Protoss is going to play macro. If the Protoss has less gas, then oftentimes they're just going to, you know, attack you with some type of timing. So for now, we do have, you know, a pretty macro game, and that's a nice change of pace from the last 2 absurdly quick attacks coming out from Nerchio, none of which really did enough damage, I don't think. There's an hallucination upgrade coming out from the Cybernetics core. Interesting. Haven't seen this upgrade used too much in the high level, but I always say it's a great way to get a cheap scout in there without having to build the early observer, which in turn allows you to escape getting a robotics facility. You can go right into Twilight Council. And there's a lot of sentries moving out across the map right here. What the heck is Creator planning? Moving out with just raw sentries. You don't see this every day. A lot of times when Protoss move out, it's very risky to move out with sentries. Creator must feel like he's got enough of an edge here. He doesn't think that there's going to be any forces in front of his door, that he can just move out with the sentries and not worry about too much. There's an Overseer coming from the original Overlord location. And right now is Nerchio going for the max roach strategy. He has the layer done. He has speed finishing up. Does he have +1 missile finishing? No +1 missile, so I don't think it's going to be the max roach strat. In fact, he's going for Spire. Alright, so we're going to have Mutas this game. And, you know, on this map, Mutas is not too shabby of a unit. Lots of airspace to work with. There is a hallucinated Phoenix coming in, though. And so I think the hallucinated Phoenix that are flying in right now will be able to scout the Spire. And the Spire is seen. Is he going to click the building? He did. He clicked it right there. You can see the blue outline. And now, Creator knows exactly what's going on, man. He knows that it's going to be a Mutaling strat. But the thing is, there's actually Roach speed coming as well. So it might be something like Mutaling Roach, which is kind of a hybrid style. It can work as well against Protoss. But upon seeing Mutas, Creator says, well, I'm just going to go ahead and claim the 3rd Nexus, moving out across the map right here to make a timing attack before your Mutas come out, because I know you're not maxing out on Roaches. But Creator has to be careful because the sentries are going to get caught off. Oh, Nerchio looking really good this game. He's going to pick off all the sentries. Beautiful by Nerchio. And perhaps Creator walking into a bit of an ambush right now, but Creator not giving up, going to forward pylon this location, bringing in a bunch of stalkers. How many gateways does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 gateways with +2, +0. So just +2 weapons, blink stalkers here, but it's not 7-gate, it's just 6-gate. And I don't know if that's enough firepower to bust through this many roaches, especially considering Creator doesn't have any immortals. Remember, guys, he did not make a robotics facility at all. He instead went for hallucinations. And now he's making the robotics facility upon seeing that many roaches on the field. So I think what Creator did, what he accomplished by moving out with this army, is he forced the Zerg into not making Mutalisks, if that makes any sense to you guys. Because when the Protoss moves out with a bunch of Stalkers and they are Blink enabled, the Zerg doesn't really want to make Mutas at that point, because Blink Stalkers are so good against Mutas. And so Creator kind of showed his hand and said, look, I've got Blink Stalkers, you shouldn't make Mutas. And so Acer.Nerchio has not made a single Mutalist this game. He's stuck primarily with Roaches. He's adding on more Evo Chambers right now so that he can get his upgrades going, and he's going to go for a snipe on the 3rd Nexus, but I don't think it's going to really be able to do much damage. He burrows, though. He knows that the opponent doesn't have observers yet, or perhaps he's crossing his fingers and hoping that he doesn't. But he's getting lucky right now because there's no detection at all, but a Photon Cannon is warping in. And that will provide some degree of detection. Meanwhile, Nerchio thinking he should bust through the front door. He definitely has a shot at killing off the Forge, researching +3 weapons. And that is such a big upgrade to cancel right now. He will get the cancel off on the Forge. Forcio comes down to prevent the Roaches from thinking about running inside. And Nerchio now will pull away. Nerchio looking really good this game, guys. And now making 12 Infestors. Woo, that is a lot of Infestors. And, you know, Infestors are great for dealing with all types of Protoss play. They can prevent Stalkers from blinking. They can catch Dark Templar. By the way, a Dark Shrine is coming up. And I think Creator here going for a Dark Shrine because he feels like he's suffered a lot of damage this game. 80 workers is 69. And if we pull up the workers kill tab, it is, well, actually not working for some reason. Not too sure why. But whatever. Basically, Nerchio is looking really good this game, and I think Creator here trying to go for Dark Templar to catch up a little bit, but I don't know, is it going to be enough? And here he goes, blinking forward, gonna try to catch these roaches, but Nerchio is pretty fast, even without creep, he can get away. Not a big loss if he loses a couple here or there. Trying to get +1/+1 right now, so his upgrades are actually pretty far behind. Remember, he originally tried to go for mutas, so he forewent any plus ground upgrades at all. So his upgrades are pretty lacking right now against Creator, and that's the one thing I think that's allowing Creator to hold on to this area. He's also starting to incorporate the oh my god GG Imba unit that we saw in the first game of this set, the Immortal. So I think that Nerchio has to think very carefully about how he engages this Protoss army. And in fact, if Protoss is going to play so conservatively right now, why not just go to Hive mode? Get out your Brute Lords, and it looks like we do have Hive on the way. I think that's really the best option here. The only thing is Nerchio, you know, he's maxed out, so he's going to have to clear some open space to make Brood Lords. There are 3DTs, meanwhile, making their way across the map. Does Nerchio know about it? Does he have a Spore coming up? None of these buildings are Spore crawlers, so the DTs completely leak in. And now they're going to go for the hatchery. Is there an Overseer inbound? There is. So the hatchery will be saved as the Spine Crawlers get the detection they need. Meanwhile, a DT also making its way over to the left side, but Nerchio has an Overseer coming over there as well. So that DT getting about 8 kills or so, but nothing that Nerchio can't recover from. It's nothing too bad. And right now, it looks like the Protoss thinking about moving out, also securing the Ninja Expand at the bottom right. And thinking right now about moving out. He has a pretty large army, and you know what? +3 weapons is about to finish. Zerg still just starting 2-2. So this is actually a pretty scary time for Zerg, excuse me. And it's really going to come down to the infestors and their fungal growth. How good is Nerchio's fungals? How good are they going to be? And will he be able to get the fungals off before the stalkers blink forward and spread out and snipe off his infestors? That's what we're waiting to see right now. It looks like there's a small contingency of units moving around this area. I don't know where they're going. They're at the Protoss high gas expansion, and these two infestors probably going to want to burrow or do something to escape death here. The Nerchio still doesn't realize there's an expansion at the bottom right. His infestors here burrowing underground but popping up for no reason, gonna die. And now Nerchio, you know what? I don't know what he's planning right now, but he has to be very careful about these +3 weapon Protoss army. He needs to get the best fungals ever to hold off this type of an army. And here we go, fungals coming in. And Creator not opting to blink forward yet. It's just going to come down primarily to fungal growth. Force fields are pretty good, but he doesn't have that many sentries to work with. Nerchio launching out some infested Terrans here, but the +3 Stalkers proving to be too much for the Roaches to handle, and now the Stalkers have to run away. Nerchio should think about fungling to stop the chase here, to halt the pursuit. And Nerchio in a lot of trouble right now, ladies and gentlemen. Also, a War Prism has warped in DTs into the Zerg main. Zergling's coming in, but there's no detection yet. And Nerchio needs to get the Overseers out to stop the DT harass. Oh my god, Nerchio in so much trouble. And all of this coming before he could get Brood Lords out on the field. And now he's going to have to definitely lose a base. There's no doubt about that. One of his hatcheries are going to go down here. And I think Nerchio here is in a lot of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really know how you stop a Protoss army that is clearly superior technology-wise. That's by default, but they're also got all the upgrades going for them. Now Archons coming on the field as well. So it's like every powerful unit could be called in from Ire has been called in now, except for the Mothership and the Colossus, I suppose. But at this point, Creator has just got such an army. I don't really know if you can stop this even with a bunch of infestors. And Nerchio is probably going to lose this Series 3-0. Creator is going to waffle stomp this army, and that's it. I don't know what the hell the Zerg can do at this point. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to make a desperate 32 Zerglings right now, but it is not going to be enough. GG calls Nerchio out of the macro game, the first GG that we've actually seen, I think. And, you know, it was a good game. I thought Nerchio had several opportunities to take the W here, but the Greater Spire, the Brute Lords were just so late, man. 20 minutes in, and you don't even see one Brute Lord at all, and I think that was really the reason why he lost. If he had just you know, at this point, a lot of Zergs, a lot of high-level Zergs would have had, I don't know, 6 to 8 Broodlords already, and he didn't make any Broodlords this game at all. I think that's what really costed him. You need to get into the Hive Infestor Broodlord army if you're going to stop this, you know, immortal Stalker army. It's the best way to go about it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to realize it, and the Ninja expansion also helping Creator.Prime big time as well. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. I'm off to watch the GSL semifinals. I cannot wait, especially for MC versus Dongrigu. I will see you guys in the next YouTube StarCraft cast, and make sure to subscribe. This is HD StarCraft, signing out.